Covenant network is absolute chaos. From what I've been able to piece together, their leadership ordered all ships to abandon Halo when they found the Flood, but they were too late. The Flood overwhelmed this cruiser and disabled it. The Covenant are terrified the Flood will repair the ship and use it to escape from Halo. They've sent in a strike team to neutralize the Flood and repair the ship for immediate departure. I've got a good lock on Captain Key's CNI transponder signal. He's alive, and the implants are intact. There's some interference from the cruiser's damaged reactor. I'll bring us in as close as I can. Oh, I see. The coordinate data needs to be... Right. Sorry.
Don't be a fool. Leave me.
Captain? Captain? I've lost him.
Just like the library, start right at your goal, but you gotta take a roundabout path. Also like the library, you start with an assault rifle. There is an active camo over here, but I would recommend not popping it just yet. This initial section is quite easy. The Covenant and the Flood are mostly focused on each other. They're easy to mop up. Although I do almost die here because I get complacent around the carrier form. So as you can see, this is another kind of repeat level. We're back in the Truth and Reconciliation. It's important to... oh. When you hear that elite sound, now would be a good time to go back for that active camo. Now, I kind of play a bit suboptimally here, but I do it on purpose. I'll explain in a moment. So yeah, go grab the active camo. Make sure you grab the shotgun. It'll make the next section a lot easier.
Analyzing damage. This hole was caused by some kind of explosive. Very powerful if it tore through the ship's hull. All I detect down there are pools of coolant. We should continue our search somewhere else.
So, if you're playing this, well, I'll explain it in a minute. Yeah, you come to a dead end, and then all of a sudden a bunch of Flood come in behind you, and, you know, they get increasingly...
Warning, threat level increasing.
...large, and eventually you are forced to jump down there. Now, if you're playing this by yourself, I'd recommend just jumping down in there as soon as possible. That way you'd have active camo, and you can run over to the right without either the Covenant or the Flood seeing you. But, you know, I'm doing a Let's Play, so I kind of have to show off the story.
Let's get out of here and find another way back aboard the ship.
Incidentally, that huge Flood spawn at the start isn't actually infinite. You can outlast it. There's just no reason to. And Cortana has more to say. Eventually she says something like, "That jump into the coolant is looking better all the time, Chief." It's kind of neat. So, while the Covenant and the Flood are busy with each other, you can totally just run past this fight. I like to stick it out and fight it out because you get a lot more shotgun ammo, and eventually there's a Flood with a Magnum who spawns, and you can kill him and take the Magnum. I'd recommend waiting to pick up the Magnum until after you deal with those elites, or rather, wait to re-pick up the shotgun. You know, take out all the Covenant with the Magnum and the plasma pistol, then, you know, swap out your plasma pistol for the shotgun, and then continue on. But here's me hemming and hawing. I'm kind of, you know, thinking while I'm playing. This level isn't as hard as Two Betrayals, but it is definitely one of the tougher levels in the game, so I'm a bit more cautious than usual. Although, that ends up being a dead... I play a bit too cautiously here. If I had been more aggressive, I wouldn't have taken so much health damage there. But, oh well. There's a health pack pretty close by, so nothing really worth worrying about. There is shotgun ammo there, I just kind of missed it, I guess. If you're playing this by yourself, feel free to take the time to scrounge around. This time, I decide that like slightly slow footage is better than bad gameplay, so I let the Covenant and the Flood fight it out here. The Flood usually win this engagement. But once enough of the elites are dead, I feel confident enough to start pushing forward. Yeah, like I said, you get showered in shotgun ammo in this level. One thing you may notice immediately, it's really dark. It's really dark in this level. That's one of the reasons I don't like it. These outdoor segments are just really hard to see in a way that doesn't really feel fair, I suppose. I guess it's kind of spooky, but I'd rather be able to see where I'm going. Now, be careful when you push up, because yeah, a big group of Flood just like pours in from where you need to go. You saw I passed by a health pack earlier, so that's there if you need it. I forgot that it was there, like in the heat of battle. There's another one, like, literally 5 steps away. They really like Dark Souls 3 Bonfire, the health packs in this level, you'll see what I mean. But yeah, there's a health pack like slightly to my left, or like bottom left, I guess. Now, you can totally run past that fight too, but I'd recommend not doing that, because if you run too far ahead, this is the cheapest thing ever. A bunch of carrier forms drop down from the ceiling. So then, you run too far ahead, you have to back up so you don't get killed by the carrier forms.
Towards the ship's gravity.
And then you just get sandwiched in between a bunch of combat forms, so you just die. So I'd recommend fighting out that second encounter too. Yeah, there's literally a health pack just right there. Now, if you're playing this level on your own, I'd recommend probably being a bit more conservative with the sniper ammo. As you can see, there's 2 hunters and a squad of Covenant holding out against a bunch of Flood. Now, I made a note that a lot of spawners in this game that people think, be a little careful.
The crash did more damage than I suspected. Analyzing. Coolant leakage rate is significant. The ship's reactor should already have gone critical.
Alright. A lot of people, they believe that there's a lot more infinite spawners in this game than there are. The carrier forms coming out of this pool of coolant, these actually are infinitely spawning. They will spawn forever. So, eventually you're going to have to push up. At the very least, you'll want to snipe a few of the elites. Although this is the only sniper rifle in the level, so... There is a part, I'll mention it way later on, if you want to carry the sniper rifle throughout the entire level without firing any shots, you could do that. However, I use the sniper rifle here. That may seem like sloppy aim, but you really gotta be fast here, because extremely rare footage of a shade turret actually being useful, yeah. You want to pop into that shade turret, and you can just gun down the Flood en masse. Now, this is what I mean about the spawners. So, the way this works, and the way most of the seemingly infinite spawners in this game works, enemies are going to keep coming, and they'll keep on coming, and they'll keep on coming. They will eventually end, but you can end them early by pushing up to a certain point. This level is probably the worst about that, and it's not really a mechanic that you've had to deal with before now. That's another reason I'm not a big fan of this level. It feels a little cheap, honestly. I wish they'd just spawn the enemies normally, I suppose. So what you want to do there, get in the shade turret, just gun down the Flood. Eventually there's going to be a big enough lull in the combat form charge that you can pass through and kind of hit the trigger to start so they won't spawn anymore. I was thinking that the health pack that I missed earlier was around here, but it's not. I missed it earlier. Yeah, at this point, probably a good idea to pick up a Magnum if you're running low on sniper. Atmospherically, this level's great. Very cool looking level. I have a friend who really likes how the coolant looks. Yeah. Yeah, so there's some flood up on those ledges. You wanna they'll make this next firefight a lot more difficult if you don't take care of them as soon as you can. But somewhat annoyingly, they're all programmed to be the reviver flood that automatically revives. So. Yeah, see what I mean about the health packs? It's like, all we did was kill some hunters, and then I think fight like 2 squads, and then another health pack already. That's not even the worst example. I mean, I'm thankful for the generosity. It's just surprising.
Power source detected. There's the gravity lift. It's still operational. That's our way back in.
Just killing some infection forms while Cortana yaps. This encounter's a little weird. There's a bunch of elites holed up at the top of that cliff, so you want to throw some plasma grenades to hit the numbers. This is another case. From the coolant, there are a bunch of flood combat forms and carrier forms that spawn. They're not infinite, but they last a really long time. They spawn with dangerous weapons, so... if you get lucky... oh, there's an overshield there, by the way. If you get lucky, the combat forms will knock the elites off their perch and makes them a lot easier to take out. Basically, like the objective marker said, what you need to do, you need to hold your position under the gravity lift for a certain amount of time. And the best way to do that is to eliminate all the elites. I eliminated one of them, and I let the flood down there take care of the other one, and then I killed this final one. And I think I killed the 4th one with the plasma grenade earlier. But yeah, once you kill all the elites and stand there, you get taken out. Not too bad.
We
Not too
should be
bad
able
of a
to get
hold.
into the ship's control room from here.
Incidentally, if you're somebody who pays attention to level geometry, this level doesn't match up at all with Truth and Reconciliation, despite taking you through some of the same areas. Like, the ship's layout is kind of completely different, but at this point in development, as you can tell by the fact that the previous 2 levels were the library and then Assault on the Control Room backwards, they were kind of running out of development resources at this point. I still like the second half of the game, though, in its own way.
The Covenant BattleNet is a mess. I can't access the ship's schematics. My records indicate that a shuttle bay should be here.
Almost lost my overshield, but for once, I actually managed to keep this overshield for a reasonable length of time. That's another thing that makes this level annoying. They love spawning carrier forms behind you.
Look, in the corners. The Flood are gathering bodies here.
So as usual, if you want, you can drop right down there and skip a big part of the level, but I like to at least go through everything. So also there's some shotgun up here. May have been hard to see, but one of the shotguns fell down there. Don't worry, I get it later. Now, if you've never played this game before, I would recommend actually that you do not do what I'm about to do. Well, first of all, what I do is kind of stupid because I detonate the carrier form right next to the shotgun. Kind of dumb of me. No, I still am able to find it, but I would actually recommend, if you have never played this game before, do not kill that carrier form. If you have played this game before, do kill the carrier form. That's a little pro tip. Okay. Now, another thing that makes this level annoying, whenever you see like an open hole in the ceiling, it's one of those like pseudo infinite flood spawners, where the floods spawn for a really long time until you cross a certain threshold. If you don't know that, you can be stuck there for like 5 minutes in certain areas, and against really dangerous enemies, right? So just try and push past. Now, the reason I told you not to kill that carrier form, if you come down here and there's a small, and only one of the carrier forms is left alive, that hangar door over there will open and a bunch of, like a huge, like half a dozen combat forms will come running at you. And if you've never played the game before, you probably aren't ready for that. But if you know they're coming, then you do kill that carrier form. That way you can, just throw a bunch of grenades, a bunch of frags, and just, completely wipe out that squad of combat forms. And you may have seen earlier on the ledge, there's an overshield over here, and a health pack if you need it. Unfortunately, I still had a bit of my overshield. If you have a bit of overshield left, you want to push ahead because there's a difficult firefight coming up. Yeah. The way the grenade bounced almost killed me. Yeah, and as you can see, I'm almost maxed out on shotgun ammo. Now, there's a hole you gotta drop down. If I was smart, what I would have done is I would have overcharged myself to get rid of my little bit of overshield and gotten the fresh one, but I didn't. Now, down that hole, there are three carrier forms that will all, flop down and blow up on you if you just drop down there. So what you want to do, you want to make sure you, throw a grenade down there, kill all three. However, what I forgot is there's actually a fourth carrier form hidden around that hallway. He'll hear the noise and come towards you if you make too much noise, so be careful of that. Got kind of lucky there. This red elite was being unusually aggressive. Plasma grenades really shine this level because, I don't know why this guy was being so aggressive, but, adapt and overcome. Plasma grenades really shine in this level because not only are the corridors tight, but the Covenant are all bunched up together because they're scared of the Flood, so, yeah, a single plasma grenade can just devastate. Okay, what I do here is a bit risky, but, yeah. So not only is there a pseudo-infinite Flood spawner, but when enough of the Covenant die, a second one activates behind you, so if you don't rush through that room, you can get, squashed between two Flood
Looks like another
spawners.
shuttle bay. We should be able to reach the control room from the 3rd level.
Another health pack. Alright, so this is another... Okay.
Gave you an order, soldier. Now pull out.
He's delirious. In pain. We have to find him.
Okay, really cheap thing. They spawn a squad of Covenant right behind you. 2 red elites and grunt support. That is probably the cheapest spawn in the game. And I know you might be thinking, isn't there one like that in Truth and Reconciliation? And that is true, but that one only spawns a single elite. I think the second elite makes a big difference. I knew about that spawn. I triggered it on purpose expecting to die just to kind of show how cheap it is. Oh, this hunter down here is kind of unique. It's the Flood kill his partner. His partner loads in already dead. The implication is the Flood killed it, so you only have to kill the one hunter. And then there's a bunch of grunts in here. Anyway, the reason I'm coming down here is because those 2 red elites and the grunts that come through, this area is a pseudo-infinite Covenant spawner. Usually they're Flood, right? This time it's Covenant. They'll keep spawning behind you until you come through here and clear out all the enemies. It's very weird, very cheap. And I've tested it before. You do gotta kill these Flood and fight through to this other squad of Covenant to kind of disable the spawner. I mean, obviously you could fight it out and deplete the spawner, but that's 2 red elites every time. So you'll probably die on Legendary, so I'd recommend just coming down here, doing this. Obviously, this part's a lot easier if you know about the gang squatter. If you just go down the hallway immediately, but I wanted to show the gang squad off just because of how cheap it is. I love this game a lot, but you got to be fair about flaws and stuff. When you get down here, I'd recommend just throw a plasma grenade. Now, what I'm doing here, I shoot so that the enemies are distracted. Yeah, that's a good plasma grenade. I shoot so the enemies are distracted, so they kind of forget about the plasma grenade and they die. One thing you might notice me doing is picking up the plasma pistols. What that does is it makes it so that they will never, they don't despawn. We talked about this in the previous video. If you're somebody who hates skipping encounters and likes to fight everything legit, I'd recommend, basically from this point on, pick up any plasma pistol that you see that you can pick up. Okay. Came over to kill the remaining elite. Luckily for me, he was focused on the infection wounds. Man, this level's giving me a lot to talk about. Also, this music's good. Also, if you see any flood with magnums, I would recommend doing the same thing. You don't have to like carry the magnum with you. Just make sure you pick them up. I'll explain why later. Oh, like that, like that magnum that just flew high. I'll be honest, I kind of forgot to do that. You know, I'm recording footage. I don't always remember everything. But, yeah, you want to be sure to like at least pick up the magnum. And try and keep them in the hallways if you would. If you would. I mean, like, oh. Yeah, that happens a lot in this level. There's explosions happening constantly, so the weapons get stuck in the wall like that. It's very funny to me. I thought that combat form was alive because of the weird angle. Man. Yep. I guess grenades of all kinds are good on this level. I guess general rule of thumb, frags on Flood and plasma on Covenant. And there's another health pack right there if you need it, which I did. Now, a huge amount of Flood are going to come through that door, so you want to pick your choice of grenade. You can thin out their numbers a bit. Now here's kind of a strange thing. Hear that engine? That engine?
This way.
When that engine comes in, basically a Spirit dropship comes into the Truth and Reconciliation and it drops off some Covenant reinforcements in the floors below you, so now, you know, whatever, like backtracking to those floors for whatever reason is no longer safe because there's a bunch of grunts and elites there now. Kind of an interesting thing they do, I guess, to kind of force progress. Although, obviously, you could just go back and kill them. Now, here, I did remember the Magnum thing, but I didn't see that it flew off a little bit further behind me, so I decided to just go forward instead of wasting video time scrounging around. But if you do manage to get the Magnum...
The captain! His vitals are fading! Please, Chief, hurry!
Oh gosh. I got a lot to talk about. Okay, so, if you remember to grab the Magnum, I would recommend taking out the elites on the floors below with the noob combo, if you can. It'll make an upcoming section a lot easier. That's whether you like to skip or you like to do full fights. Also, bring the Magnum into this hallway before you drop it. Trust me on that. You want to bring the Magnum into this hallway. Also, this shootout right here is one of the more difficult ones in the mission. There's a squad of Covenant fighting Flood, but then once the Covenant are depleted, another pseudo-infinite Flood spawn will just keep spawning from that doorway until you push up. So I get a little greedy, well, not yet, but I get a little greedy and push up before I probably should because I figure there's a health pack in that room and I end up getting killed by a shotgun. Yeah. So, yeah, my first step. So I kind of had to be doing a better job of clearing up the Covenant. Or so I thought. Yeah, that noise scared the shit out of me because I realized there was an elite left alive. I didn't want to get caught between two different enemy groups. Oh, I should say, you wouldn't want a noob combo like every elite below, just the ones that are kind of on that like little outcropping that cuts the hangar bay in half, just the ones that kind of congregate there. By the way, there's a health pack like right behind me. Yeah, they put 2 health packs right next to each other. To be fair, if this is your first time playing through the level, you probably need them. I decided to actually save them, kind of like I do with the overshield in episode 4. This time, I thinned out the flood a little bit more, was a bit more cautious, and I make it through. Now, I'm going to switch to anniversary graphics, because we've reached the point where there's another terminal that I actually want to show off. Yep, a 343 edition that I actually want to show off, because it's cool.
I forgot something. What did I... My name. I forgot. Oh, Keys, Jacob, Captain, service number 01928-19912-JK. What is that noise? What is that damn noise? Where am I? Keys, Jacob. Oh, God, it hurts. This will never work, you Covenant bastards. I'll never lead you to Earth. Keys, Jacob, Captain. Service number 01928-19912-JK. Oh, God. You don't want Earth. You want everything. Get out of my head. Miranda, is that you?
Forget everything.
No, please. Don't let me forget. Keys. Jacob. Captain. Service number 1928-19912-JK.
No more what you were. Memories. Emotions. All is now ours.
Keys. Jacob. Captain. Service number 01928-19912-JK. You will not have me.
We already do.
Pretty good, huh? Genuinely. That jump wasn't good, though. These graphics aren't good. I shouldn't give a backhanded compliment. Especially when I'm about to fuck up this jump. No, it's genuinely a good terminal. And I feel like it builds intrigue in a good way, too, because the Flood have been portrayed as very feral up till now. So the idea that they have a deeper intelligence behind them is intriguing.
No human life signs detected. The captain, he's one of them. We can't let the Flood get off this ring. You know what he'd expect... what he'd want us to do. It's done. I have the code. We should go. We need to get back to the Pillar of Autumn. Let's go back to the shuttle bay and find a ride.
Alright, so it's a little cheap, but you wanna head for that door immediately, because the squad of Covenant is right behind you. Squad of Flood busts into the room. Heading for that door immediately makes the Covenant and the Flood fight each other. If you don't do this, the amount of Flood, as you can see, is truly overwhelming, and for once it's not tied to a pseudo-infinite spawner. Just a huge amount of Flood. And eventually they'll they'll always beat the Covenant and come after you. But the Covenant should thin their numbers enough that they're a lot more manageable. It might be a little hard to hear, but even after you took out Keys, the Flood Mass, the Proto-Gravemind, it's still whispering and it's still alive. So I grabbed the health pack here, but in hindsight that may have been a mistake. Well, not really, but maybe hold off if you feel like you're high enough on health. So it's a bit unfortunate because you may have been hard to notice, but those Covenant, they're not like other Covenant that we've encountered. They are, well, as you'll soon see, that grunt that just died, you'll see he has black armor. So does this one. Oh, well, that was a Flood form, but... yeah. Whoa. Since when has a grunt ever thrown a plasma grenade like an MLB pitcher? No, these... might be a little hard to see, but these black armored Covenant, they are Special Operations Covenant, Spec Ops Covenant, Strike Team Covenant, whatever you want to call them. Final new, well, actually that's not true, but new Covenant enemy type. They're the Covenant you send in when the others just can't get the job done. They are badass elite units, even by elite standards. They are dangerous. They are probably the most difficult and hard to deal with enemies in the game. Spec Ops Grunts, no more plasma pistols for you. They are armed with needlers and fuel rod guns, as you can see. Although, yeah, the fuel rod ends up being kind of a detriment because, you know, they detonate when the grunts die, so you can kind of turn that against... That's the big weakness in Spec Ops squads. The big strength, though, look at those plasma grenades. The elites are, like, spot on. Now, okay, so this is where, well, first of all, oh, okay, a lot of stuff went wrong there. Let me break it down in just a minute. You'll see another Spirit dropship come in. Also some Banshees. Whatever.
Grab one of the escort Banshees and we'll use it to return to the Pillar of Autumn.
If you're not doing a Let's Play and if you're playing this level on your own, I'd recommend trying to, like, run to the other side of the hangar to where the Banshees land. That way... Okay, I cut ahead a little bit because I just went back for the health pack. For what I'm going to do next, you really want to be at full health. I'll show you why in just a minute. You can actually... Okay. See, that's what I mean about the fuel rod gun being detrimental. Now, this is really unfortunate what's about to happen here. Figured I'd at least fight through some of the Spec Ops Covenant. No, I didn't care. Luckily, his shields were down. Now, okay, that was really lame. I was, like, right on the edge of being in the EMP, so I lost my shields at the literal nanosecond the needlers detonated into me and I lost all my health. So there's no Covenant for the rest of the mission, so you would want to... This is the point where you'd want to grab your Magnum that you stashed and just go double pistols. You don't need the shotgun anymore, and when fighting Spec Ops, you really want to keep your distance, as you've probably seen. Now, yeah, as you saw, me being unable to use the nuke combo because I didn't pick up the Magnum, it let that elite down there shoot up at me. Yeah, that's why you want full health. And so I do that previous encounter better. I stun that guy so he's not shooting at me, but I kind of mess up the trick and I still die. The second you get into the Banshee, the level ends, so you can skip the shootout. You might be wondering, okay, so it's a little tough to see, but on this level, there are, and I'm not kidding here, there are 10 Spec Ops Black Elites, Black Spec Ops Elites, 10 that you have to fight through. And then on this floor, there's about 3 or 4. And then after you kill them, if you take too long, there's another 3 or 4 that spawn in if you don't get to the Banshee in time. So around 18 Black Elites. Ridiculous. So I don't feel bad about skipping that part, especially since I fumbled the Magnum. Let me know, I guess, if you are bothered by me skipping it, but that really is the way that I'd recommend doing the level. If you really want to fight it out, save a Magnum, like I said. But, either way, I will see you all next time for the Maw, the grand finale. We're almost at the end. See you then.